Good morning. How you doing? Man, give you a piece of my thoughts right now. As y'all can tell, it's raining. At work, sitting in my truck before I go on the job. Probably should have been in, but sometimes you have your moments, you know what I'm saying? And like, for real, it can be quite, it's a decision at times, especially as a man, you know what I mean, where you have your routine and your responsibilities that you take care of on a daily basis, and sometimes certain events happen and you are forever changed. And like, I had a routine where in the morning time I talk to my mom on the way to work, just say, hey, how you doing? Hear my baby voice. I always call my mama my baby because she always called me her baby. And just talk to her, and it's been a long time, without having that conversation, that phone call. And like, for me and how my brain works, at times I have to almost like forget the person even existed, so that the feeling of what they brought to me don't hit me and impact me when I think about them. So then, therefore, I try not to think about them. But some days, as I'm working on my mental health, going to therapy and trying to read up on things to not just suppress my feelings, but become more aware of them and have a better understanding and allow myself to go through those emotions, it gets interesting. So like, today is one of those days where usually I'll feel that feeling of like grief or the sadness and things of that nature, and then I hurry up and I'll just go do something, you know what I mean? I go attack work, or I find something to take my attention off of me and myself. But I'm learning that self-love is when at times you gotta stop yourself and hug yourself, or listen to yourself, or be still with the person that you are. And so like, today it's raining. I had a late start, but like, having that conversation with me, it's like, you know what, it's okay to say I miss her, and it's okay to be like hurt and sad that you miss that person. And yeah, like, I miss my mama, you know what I'm saying? And I miss the understanding that my mom and I had, and me as a person with all my idiosyncrasies and things that I do at times that I used to call weird, but it's just part of who I am. The explanation didn't necessarily have to be shared. It was understood. And for any man or woman, you want to be understood. Sometimes you don't feel like you have the articulation to go back in time to express certain parts of who you are to somebody so they can understand what they see before you. Because, say for instance, you are a chapter book and they're meeting you at, say, chapter 30, but there are things that happen in chapter 1 through 30 that they have to get caught up on. And so sometimes it takes away from the moment when you begin to express how you feel, because you have to go back and kind of give them a little, you got to catch them up a little bit, bring into context how you're going to explain something that's going with you or bothering you today. And so my mom was that person where, no matter what today was, when I spoke, there was already an understanding of how I am and some of the experiences that I've gone through, that I could just unleash or just have a moment of vulnerability and transparency as well. And so the relationship between a son and his mother is different than a father and his son, or whoever. Like, everybody has different relationship, but my mom was my girl, you know what I mean? And so I really, like, days like this, I'm trying to learn how to just to take that in and be like, dang, man, I really miss Mama Dukes, you know what I mean? And so it's difficult dealing with loss and grief and being able to open up and express how you feel sometimes, and like days where the world keeps spinning, but a part of you is at a halt and just standing still. And for me, it's as simple, and I know many men and women will attest to this. It's like there's moments where I just want to like call, hear a voice, and just be like, hey, baby, you know what I'm saying? How's my baby boy doing, And in that moment, it's not like how, the man is doing. It's just like the inner child inside of you, that when life has all these responsibilities, as you get older, you learn these things that you have to care for. Some of the best quotes you always hear is like, don't forget that inner child. Don't forget to live life and enjoy life, to be present in the moment of life while you are here. And certain people can speak to that inner voice in you, that inner child in you. And she was excellent at speaking to that young boy inside of me. And so even though I'm a man now, it's always good to try to remember that, you know what I mean? Because life has its moments of ups and downs, trials and tribulations. And some days I don't want to be very I don't want to be tough, or I don't want to push aside my feelings. I want to be in them and feel them. And so today is one of those days. It's rainy, it's gloomy, and yeah, man, I'm just really just sitting here like, you know what, nah, it's okay, you know what I mean? It's all right, you know what I mean? And so work will continue to go forth. I'm going to go in there and do my job and whatnot. But at the same time, this is when people say like, your mental health, make sure you give that the proper attention that it deserves. And so that's what I'm doing. It may be in the looks of taking my phone out, having a conversation. Shout out to my therapist, who is trying to get me in the mood of, or the habit of journaling, and just writing down my day-to-day interactions. And sometimes when you write down the things that you did in the day, you sit back and read and like, oh wow, you beat yourself up at all the things that you have presently before you, that you don't necessarily give yourself a pat on the back for the things that you accomplished and taken care of on that day. And when you look back on your day and you read the things that you did do, it's similar to like going to the gym. When you in the gym working out, you necessarily don't feel the effects right in and there, but there's something going on in your mind where the dopamine, the serotonin, and all these things are working and trying to get you to where you want to go to, as far as finishing your workout. But the same thing can happen when you are finishing your day. And so when you go back and read your journal, you realize like, wow, I've accomplished so much in today, that when you read it, it makes you feel good, and it gives you a sense of self-worth that you actually did do some things. And even though you might not have finished everything you had planned to do that day, that little pat on your back, like, you know what, hey, you did do something, man. You did a lot, actually. And don't be too hard on yourself. You can't get everything done in one day. Even though you can strive for perfection, on the road to it, you will meet excellence, because perfection cannot necessarily be met. So I say that to say, hey, that's my 2 cents for the day. Finna go in here, man, and get some work done. These are just my thoughts, you know, and my words for the day. So peace, love, until we meet again. We out.